Alright, what's up guys? Tinchi here. I just wanted to share some discoveries that I've been labbing recently in Street Fighter 6. And that is how to deal with Drive Rush and ways you can interact with it. So a couple of things, just before I go into the tech, a couple of things is that when you are getting Drive Rushed in general, it is good to know that your inputs may get eaten like that. I tapped up there, you can see on the input command interpreter. And even if, say for example, if you try to walk back against Drive Rush crouching MK, right? Maybe sometimes you try to tap block and then that happens. That's pretty annoying. But one consistent thing you can do is you can hold inputs. So this is known with holding parry. Holding parry does not get eaten by Drive Rush at all. So like no matter what, if you hold parry, parry always comes out on a hold input. Now this is true for holding inputs with up. See how like there's a stutter right there? But yet I'm able to still jump. It's because I'm holding the input. So there's a couple things in this game that take priority. Holding parry, holding a direction, supers, supers won't get eaten and neither will DI. These have a lot of priority in the system. Now, why is this important? Basically, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to mitigate the idea of your inputs getting eaten. So, for example, when you try to drive rush, sometimes you'll get drive rush and you'll beat them. Or sometimes that happens, where your forward input gets eaten and the parry comes out instead. So, how do we stop this from happening? What you do is you hold parry on reaction to the green, and you'll start getting consistent return drive rush. Now you're like, oh Tinchi, this is useless. Why would I ever want to do this? So there's a little bit of nuance to this. Now drive rush jab is the problem, right? Well, to deal with drive rush jab, what we're going to do is try not to be in the minimum range of the drive rush jab. Now, if you do this in reaction, now I'm getting drive rush out against drive rush jab consistently. My inputs are not being eaten. Look, I even did it super late there, and I'm completely fine. Now, how do we make this useful? What we're going to do is we stand outside the minimum range of that character's drive rush jab range. And what happens is you are going to interrupt their drive rush light. And you get a punish counter. Now you're like, why is this useful, Tinchi? This is useful because if they do medium or other buttons from this range, your drive rush light will beat their mediums and heavies. And that's Ken doing drive rush crouching MK. This is him doing drive rush standing heavy punch. Now normally, if you push the button there on reaction and you try to hit Ken, he will beat you. Blanca's best button against drive rush checks is crouching medium punch. But with this, you can return drive rush jab and interrupt them and put them in a counter hit state. And depending if you do drive rush jab at the right time, you can get a punish counter if they whip the button. Now, there's also a couple more things to this. When you're doing this, you can also pure punish a drive rush attempt with canceling the drive rush into supers. So, and like so, you cancel the pre-frames of your drive rush attempt into a super. And you will even punish drive rush jab. This is huge because a lot of the time the opponent's spending 1 bar to do drive rush jab and to interrupt your to initiate some offense, and you are on defense, and it's kind of a problem. But if you're playing defense and you know that the opponent's coming, you can hold parry and then just simply buffer into the super and punish. And they're locked. They cannot do anything. So just to give you one more example of them not being able to do anything. The minimum frames there is when he can block. So he cannot block during this whole time. But if you have you'll even punish them at their minimum distance. Now this is extremely useful. So supers, drive rush cancel the super, so parry rush super, right? Or parry rush light when you're outside their minimum range of their drive rush light. Now, to give you context to how DJ, one of the best long range drive rush jabs in the game. So you're gonna have to play very careful around DJ and certain other characters that have really long drive rushes. Now, I have here 2 replays of DJ doing drive rush jab, which goes incredibly far. As you can see, if I stand outside his range, I will beat him. But if I'm in that range, you will lose the drive rush jab. But if you are outside the minimum range, and I have DJ here set to do drive rush to MP, you will beat his 2 MP. And now this is consistent. You can test this yourself, try it in matches. Let me know how you feel about it. Tell me in the comments, reply to me. Let me know if it helps you, because I truly think this is something very, 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 very big for Street Fighter 6. Experiment with this and let me know if it's helpful for you. There's many other characters that can benefit from this, even defensively. Certain archetypes, like charge characters, could really do well with this, or even just characters with really good light conversions. Now, going further with this, there's Akuma. Akuma has Fireball into Drive Rush along with all the other Shotos, right? So, experimenting with this further, X Fireball, Drive Rush, Fierce. Now, just to give you context, when you are interacting with a Fireball, you cannot cancel out of the Fireball parry stuck animation into a Drive Rush. I'm literally mashing forward there. There's no way to cancel out of that. But, do note, when the players are doing Fireball into the Drive Rush frame trap, it's not a true frame trap. It is just a ranged frame trap. And you can still interact, and you would have to experiment and lab against that. If they're too close and they do this, you can interrupt them. Now, if they were to do Drive Rush jab there, it would be much better for them. You'll still interrupt them, but at the same time, it's just something to keep in mind. It's an option that you have during neutral. When you're parrying, you can dash up and do Drive Rush light to counteract what their Drive Rush option may be. But also keep in mind, the minimum Drive Rush light range is very important here. Please keep that in mind. I hope this is helpful for everybody. I didn't know that this was a thing until recently. I literally found this a couple days ago, and yeah, enjoy. See you guys later.